नमस्कार दोस्तों, आप देख रहे हैं द करंट सिनेरियो, जहां हम आपके लिए लेकर आते हैं देश और समाज से जुड़ी महत्वपूर्ण घटनाएं, युवाओं की आवाज और प्रेरणादायक कार्यक्रमों की खास झलक। आज हम मौजूद हैं एक खास कार्यक्रम M2M प्रोग्राम युवा में, जहां युवा शक्ति, प्रेरणा और राष्ट्रभक्ति से जुड़े विचार साझा किए जा रहे हैं। इस कार्यक्रम में देश के प्रतिष्ठित अतिथि, युवा आइकन और शिक्षा जगत के लोग अपने विचार साझा करेंगे, जिससे युवाओं को आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी। तो चलिए दोस्तों, बिना किसी देरी के देखते हैं इस शानदार कार्यक्रम की पूरी झलक।
We are truly honored to host this meaningful and intellectually enriching gathering, jointly organized by Delhi Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University and Akshay Krishi Parivar. This collaborative initiative brings together experts, researchers, and students to deliberate how nurturing our soil can nurture our future. As we come together under the banner Healthy Soil, Healthy Food, Healthy People, let us reflect on our shared responsibility towards sustainable agriculture, nutrition security, and holistic health for all.
We formally commence today's proceedings and set it over for symposium. We now invite Dr. Chancellor, Registrar, to deliver the welcome address. Sir has been a driving force in promoting integrated perspectives on health, soil, and sustainability, and we look forward to this insightful course.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hon'ble Vice Chancellor Professor Gauri, sir. Today, program chief guest Sri Behl, Hon'ble Member of Parliament, South Delhi. Distinguished dignitaries, Professor P.K. Prajapati, Director of All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi. Dr. Samvad Thomas, Director, Center of Excellence, Microbiome, Kerala. Professor Silvi Sharma, IIT Delhi. Deans, esteemed faculty, the student and participants. A warm welcome to all of you to this important symposium on women supervision. It's a matter of great pride for Delhi Pharmaceutical Science and Research University to host this timely and beautiful dialogues. We are deeply honored by the gracious presence of our Honorable MP South Delhi, sir. Despite your extremely demanding schedule, the kind measures for invitation to grace this podium reflect your commitment to our issue of national importance like soil balance. Today I invite you all to reflect on the simple yet profound truth: the health of our nation begins with the health of our soil. Soil is not just a medium for crop production; it is a living system. A single teaspoon of healthy soil contains billions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and nutrients that sustain life. Yet, this living system is under serious stress. You know, globally, nearly 33% of soil are degraded, and in India, studies indicate that over 1 billion hectares of land are affected by degradation, including nutrient depletion, and salinity, erosion, and chemical imbalance. Excessive use of fertilizers, pesticides, and unsustainable agricultural practices has reduced soil organic. One of the key indicators.
So in Vande Mataram, everything covers like Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Akash, and Vayu. Everything is there. So equilibrium of these things gets the environment, best environment for living us, for human being, or animal, or plant, everything. So it is our duty to do something and concentrate on this particular aspect, that Panch Mahabhuta, because you don't know, in our classical literature, in our traditional literature, in our Vedas, in our today's life also, लोग पुरुष सामने means those things present in the lobe, same is present in our body also. अगर पानी गंदा है तो उस गंदे पानी को पिएंगे क्या हम? नहीं पिएंगे। नहीं पिएंगे तो वाटर का कहाँ से लाएंगे? खरीद के लाएंगे। नहीं मिलता है कहीं पानी तो क्या करेंगे फिर? प्यासे रहेंगे क्या? नहीं रह सकते। छान के ढूंढ के किसी तरीके से पीने की कोशिश करेंगे, लेकिन उसमें वो क्वालिटी है क्या जो हमें चाहिए? नहीं मिलेगी। तो इसलिए बी अलर्ट, अदरवाइज हमको बैलेंस करना बहुत मुश्किल है। तो समदोषा समाधि समधातु लग गया प्रसन्न आत्मे नियमना के लिए हमें इन पंच महाभूत का बैलेंस जरूरी है। इन पंच महाभूतों का बैलेंस जरूरी है, नहीं तो प्रॉब्लम खड़ी होने वाली है। नेक्स्ट,
so today we will spend some time in understanding what Bhumi Suposhan is. Basically, if we divide this, Bhumi means land, Su means good, and Poshan means we are giving the nutrition to the land. What is the purpose of giving nutrition to the land? When we call land, land is not only land. It is a very holistic word, and we have to compare this land with the mother. So what mother does? Mother, we can call a lady, but whether it is lady. So there is a difference between the lady and the mother. Mother is giving much more than a lady. Similarly, we have to understand this concept when we are realizing the land. It is land or it is Mother Earth. So if we compare the Mother Earth with our mother, then we will find out that both are same, because both are feeding us. So in this case, what do we do with our mother? And this trust was founded in the year 2016. It is a national voluntary organization and it works on Bharatiya Krishi Chintan. And what do we do? What is the mission? The mission is poison-free food for all living beings. It is not only for human beings, it is for everyone. It is for the animals, it is for the plant, and it is for anyone who is a part of this biodiversity. Then what is the approach? The approach is policy advocating research and awareness generation and training. So this is the purpose of Akshay Krishna Yuva. Then we go, what is Bhumi Suposhan? Again, I would like to refine it in a different manner. So, there is one mantra known as Mata Bhumi Putro Aham Prithvibhyaha. What does it mean? Bhumi means the land, the earth is my mother, and I am her son. So Bhumi Suposhan is embedded in Bharatiya Krishi Chintan, and as a concept, it is old as Indian agriculture. So Indian agriculture is very old, but the proof is found maybe 9,000.
It is increased, but the people suffering and dying there in the hospital. This is the condition. We should understand that if you don't correct yourself, consume yourself, to free from that the poison, you want to consume the poison, then no one can help you on this. But it is a duty of the people, the teachers, to bring awareness to you all that don't feed the poison to the children. At least you have some breeds. Next generation should not go into the bleeding. Is the kind of the patients in the cancer. How many people, how many millions of the people dying with the cancer? What is the reason on that? What is the food consumed by the individual? And every day epidemic immunology comes compromised. The problem is that becoming the major challenge to the clinician also. They could not able to understand that what kind of problem it is. That challenge is there, it is challenging to the science. Now currently the soil has gone to the level of that challenging to the science. This is the condition. We should understand that how we are going to address. There are several identified speakers are here. I am not going to talk about everything, the important component, because the way in which organizing committee has done a wonderful job identifying the people from the earth science, molecular science, and how that the soil can be used for the regulating the disease from the plant from the pathogen, plant from the disease, and fixing up normal fertilizer, biofertilizer, where it is available. What is the reason for going for the fertilizer and the pesticide? These are the concern only the two components. One is that the pesticide, why it is utilized here in practice. It is a multinational company, colonial period, it injected is a pesticide and fertilizer, entire component. I can say more than 70% of the material comes from the other country. It is a challenge to the society. It is a poisonous component.
Extensive interaction with the microorganisms, helping the plants in nutrient acquisition, in controlling plant diseases, and several other parameters. And in turn, the plant is giving the microorganism a safe space for its metabolic activities. Next slide, please. Now, there are two types of soil, the good soil and the bad soil. And we just heard about some things about what makes a soil good and bad. It is primarily the microbial diversity, because the microbes happen to be the active component rendering a soil good or bad in terms of nutrient turnover, in terms of various other features which make the soil good. Next, please. Now, there's a perfect analogy between the gut microbiome and the rhizospheric microbiome in terms of the functionality. It is also in terms of the various factors which shape the microbiome in the gut as well as in the plant. Next, please. There is something called as the soil plant human gut microbiome axis. While the three would harbor quite distinct microbial diversity, there are certain taxa which are common across these niches, while there are certain very specific taxa present in these three niches. You will see that there's actually a continuum. So the plant microbiome, when ingested by animals and human beings, the microbiome can actually transfer to the next level, which is the human beings. And the human beings can in fact also take up a set of microbiome from the soil. Next, please. Coming to my part of the contributions that I make in the area. Next, please. So there are different levels of strategies by which this plant microbiome, which has such an integral role to play in the overall fitness of a plant. What I've listed down here are strategies related to management practices, for example, practices like crop rotation, perennialization. There are several features which would enhance the microbiome diversity and functionality. It could also be host mediated, where you have crops which actually recruit the good microbiome around themselves, and it could also be microbiome specific.
The microbiome serves as a biological connector between these domains. That is also a major important thing. Another, the biological imbalance leads to the global health. As you are aware, and some of the previous speakers have also mentioned about the challenges faced by the global community or the decision makers. One major is the climate change, another one is the antimicrobial resistance and the zoonotic diseases that we experienced in the past years. So based on all these things, the microbiome here also plays a major role in supporting the One Health approach. Microbiome and the human health. The microbiome and the human and the plant. First of all, we should make a small comparison between the human microbiome and the plant microbiome. This is what we wanted to, the basic knowledge we should gather in this particular theory. the human body, once it was think that it is devoid of any kind of microbial thing. But nowadays, from the top to bottom, from the animal body as a whole, each and every organ is inhabited by millions of microbes in the buccal cavity, or in the mouth cavity, or in the gut intestine, in the liver, in the kidney. Yes, nowadays the people are debating about the presence of microbiota in the placenta, or even in the blood, reported by certain kinds of detection tools that has been detected. But that is, it is not possible. In the presence of the bacteria in the blood, that is what is called the bacteria.
Life cycles, we choose the lighting cycle, bacteriophages which adopt lighting cycles to kill bacteria. Next please. So now you may think that phages you have not heard of, but they are being used in humans. So there are a lot of infections which have already been treated by phages, and these include infections which cause on skin, in lungs, in blood, septicemia. So all kinds of infections so far have been treated by phages. So there is very good data available to suggest that bacteriophages can be used as antibiotics, but in conjunction with antibiotics to treat those infections which do not get responded by antibiotics. So we call such bacteria as drug-resistant bacteria, or multi-drug resistant bacteria, or pan-drug resistant bacteria. And when you are infected with such pan-drug resistant bacteria or multi-drug resistant bacteria, then you don't have an alternative but to use some other thing, otherwise the infection can get fatal. Next please. And also one more thing you may have heard of. How many of you have heard of that your gut health is as important as anything else? Have you heard of your gut has a lot of microorganisms? Your gut, your intestine, does it have also a lot of microorganisms? Yes. And those microorganisms are important for your health. So bacteriophages are also used as probiotics to treat your gut health, so that any overly grown pathogen can be taken care by giving targeted phage therapy. Next slide please. This is just a busy slide, but to show you that around the world now people are developing these phage banks against different bacterial species, so that when you have infection you can source these phages and try them against the clinical isolate, or a isolate infecting a pathogen infecting an animal, or a plant pathogen, plant bacterial pathogen. So these banks are being developed in our country also and elsewhere in different parts of the world, so that to use these phages as and when required. Next please. Next slide please. So now next is to more to bring in
problem है colored इंसान के ऊपर problem है. And this entire concept of white man's burden was introduced by the Britishers during their reign. And to establish this concept, it made a lot of छोटे nitpicks. ये nitpicks जो थे, they were number one, divide and rule. ये तो सबने सुना होगा. Divide and rule के अंदर उन्होंने country को और छोटे हिस्सों के अंदर divide करना start करा, और फिर उन्हीं हिस्सों के ऊपर अपने आप का rule establish करना start करा. Number two was this thing, removing the cultural heritage of people to make Indians ऐसे कि वो अंदर से और बाहर से तो पूरे इंडियंस दिखे, कि एकदम रूट वाइज दिखने में वाह यार ये तो बिल्कुल इंडियन है, लेकिन वो सोचे एक ब्रिटिशर दिख रहा, वो सोचे एक फॉरेनर दिख रहा, वो सोचे अपने ही लोगों के अगेंस्ट. और यही चीज इंट्रोड्यूस करी उन्होंने गॉड सेव द क्वीन के साथ. गॉड सेव द क्वीन 1805 के अंदर ब्रिटिशर्स ने इंट्रोड्यूस करा एक कॉन्सेप्ट, जहां पर उन्होंने ये लिटरली दिखाया कि कैसे जो हमारा देश है, भारत देश है, उसको ब्रिटेन की क्वीन बचाने आएगी whenever it falls into a problem, या ब्रिटेन का किंग बचाने आएगा whenever it falls into a problem. एंड ये जो पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट उन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस करा, इसके बाद शुरुआत हुई सिस्टमैटिक रिग्रेडेशन ऑफ इंडियन रूट्स, इंडियन हेरिटेज, इंडियन कल्चर की. इसी के साथ आई वुड लाइक यू टू नो कि ब्रिटिशर्स ने 1837 के अंदर जब सिपाही म्यूटनी हो रही थी, you know the reason why मंगल पांडे सिपाही म्यूटनी started, why the first war of independence was started? It was pig fat and cow fat within cartridges. ब्रिटिशर्स ने इंडियन खाने को तक टारगेट करना स्टार्ट करा. उन्होंने कहा कि जो हिंदूज है, जो मुस्लिम्स है, वो अपने कल्चर के अगेंस्ट, अपने रूट्स के अगेंस्ट अपनी चीजों को यूज करना स्टार्ट करें, जिसकी वजह से वो ब्रिटेन के गुलाम बन सके. यहीं पे बंकिम चंद्र चट्टोपाध्याय जी ने देखा कि कैसे ब्रिटेन जो है वो इंडियन माइंड को करप्ट कर रहा है, कैसे ब्रिटेन जो है वो इंडियन माइंड, इंडियन ब्रेन्स को ऐसे इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है कि जो इंडियन ब्रेन्स है दे आरंट एबल टू प्रॉपर्ली प्रोसेस व्हाट इज हैपनिंग ऑल अराउंड देम, एंड दैट इज वेयर ही इंट्रोड्यूस्ड वंदे मातरम, नॉट जस्ट अ सॉन्ग बट एज अ सेंटिमेंट, एज अ फीलिंग कि कैसे हम एक देश जो हमारा भारत देश है उसको हम एक आइडलाइज फिगर दैट इज भारत माता के थ्रू एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं और देख सकते हैं कि कैसे हमारे देश की बढ़ोतरी हुई है ओवर द पास्ट, हमारे कल्चरल रूट्स को स्ट्रॉन्ग रखने के लिए, स्ट्रेंथन रखने के लिए, हमारे कल्चर को, हमारे ट्रेडिशंस को सेफ रखने के लिए। अब 1950s का टाइम आता है, 1950s के अंदर बिकॉज इट वाज अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ फायर, लॉट ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सी, एंड इवन आफ्टर दैट when the controversy settled down, when India's partition happened, India needed something to symbolize nationalism, to symbolize कि हम सब एक हैं, हम अलग नहीं हैं, हम एक हैं, हमारा एक ही देश है, हमारे देश के अंदर सारे के सारे रीजन्स आते हैं और हम देश को एकजुट रखना चाहते हैं। For this feeling itself, 1950s के अंदर वंदे मातरम को as a national song इंटीग्रेट कराया गया, वंदे मातरम को as a national song बताया गया और कैसे एक नेशन की फीलिंग है, फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म जो है, जो हमारे इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम पे बहुत हाई थी, उसको कंप्लीटली एनकम्पास कर रहे हैं। Now comes the time of 1975 to 1977, the darkest stages of Indian democracy. This was a time of emergency, and during the Indira Gandhi time, it was the 100th anniversary, I believe, of Vande Mataram. Now at that time, what happened was, जो Vande Mataram था, that was taken as a song that was against the stomping of constitution that was happening by Indira Gandhi. Now, moving on to the current time, Narendra Modi ji recently proposed a bill wherein the entire government, after 150 years of introduction of Vande Mataram, has finally encompassed the entire spirit of Vande Mataram and has now said कि हम वंदे मातरम को उसकी पूरी आइडेंटिटी के अंदर encompass करना चाहिए, यानी कि जो सेकंड और थर्ड स्टैंजास ड्रॉप करे गए थे वो वापस वंदे मातरम के अंदर ऐड कर दिए गए। नाउ नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। इसी बात से देखेंगे
सभी माननीय सदस्यों का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि हमने इस महत्वपूर्ण अवसर पर एक सामूहिक चर्चा का रास्ता जुड़ा है। जिस मंत्र ने, जिस जयघोष ने देश के आजादी के आंदोलन को ऊर्जा दी थी, प्रेरणा दी थी, त्याग और तपस्या का मार्ग दिखाया था, उस वंदे मातरम का पुण्य स्मरण करना इस सदन में हम सबका ये बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है और हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है कि वंदे मातरम के 150 वर्ष निमित्त इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर के हम साक्षी बन रहे हैं। एक ऐसा कालखंड जो हमारे सामने इतिहास की अनगिनत घटनाओं को अपने सामने लेकर के आता है। ये चर्चा सदन की प्रतिबद्धता को तो प्रकट करेगी, लेकिन आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी, दर पीढ़ी के लिए भी ये शिक्षा का कारण बन सकती है अगर हम सब मिलकर के इसका सदुपयोग करें तो।
Thank you. That's it.
Each one of us as youth plays in shaping it. And today we are privileged to have with us the esteemed guests, Ms. Suhani Pandey from the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, whose work continues to inspire and empower young individuals across the country. And then we have Mr. Daksh Behl with us, an Oxford awardee, TEDx speaker, youth advocate, and researcher. He is truly reflects the potential of today's youth. I am confident that today's session will not just be inspiring, but encouraging each one of us to think, engage, and contribute meaningfully. On that note, I once again extend a warm welcome to everyone present here. Looking forward to the sessions ahead. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.